Good morning, welcome to another episode on the RetroBrown channel. We are doing a solo run today with just Hoothoot, the regional bird of Johto. And you know what, I actually like this Pokemon. Like, even before I started this run, I actually really like the Hoothoot line. I love Noctowl, just for the fact that they're a bird flying normal, but they also get psychic type moves. Like, come on, that's pretty cool. And still in the earlier generations, psychic is very powerful, so as a kid I was definitely a lot happier to see a bird with some moves like this. We were flying normal type. We've got a base stat total of 262, which is god awful, but I think we can make this work. We've got a HP stat of 60, speed stat of 50, special defense 56, and then everything else is in the 30s, with attack and defense being the lowest. We start off with two moves with tackle and growl, and we also get the move foresight at level 6, which unfortunately, because we get some actual moves that will hit other Pokemon, especially the ghost types, we're not really going to need Foresight in this run compared to the likes of the Tyrogue run where we needed Foresight, or, well, I can't think it was the Foresight run, but we needed moves like that to be actually, to even hit Ghost type moves, or Ghost type Pokemon. Our arrival for today we will explore in a minute, but for now, we'll go up to Mr. Pokemon, get the Mystery Egg, and then head our way back over to Professor Realm back in New Bark Town, sorry about that. And yeah, I think this is going to be a good Pokemon. Annoyingly, we don't get Peck until level 11, but that's around about the same time will be when we actually go against Falconer, because with us having such a low base stat total, it's going to be worth our time to actually train up against the trainers on the way to Violet City? Yeah, Violet City, yeah. In the initial fight with the rival, we do manage to win thanks to the Hell Berry, which of course I always forget to take off because I'm more concerned about trying to actually get through this run. I completely forget to take it off. But, progressing back to New Bark Town, we can go and name our rival for today. Our rival is going to be... It's going to be... Vinero. Thank you for subscribing, welcome to the channel. Once we've received our Pokeballs, we can head off on our journey, and we are going to say no to this guy because we know how to catch Pokemon and we don't really need him for a solo run, apart from the HM slaves of course. Hoothoot, it's not a great Pokemon in hindsight, like low base stat total, weird skewing of stats, more aligned to special than they are offensive, but we do have that 56 special defense which probably will help us out in quite a lot of fights. But we are going to go up Sprout Tower, we are going to go get as much experience as possible, because I do want the move Peck to go against the next gym leader. Not for the fact that it's going to be super effective, just because we'll get the stab bonus on Peck from being a flying type. We do get a stab bonus on Tackle, but Peck's got 100% accuracy and Tackle's got 95%, so if it's not 100%, it's not worth really using when there's moves that are 100% accurate. It's made famous by M&J TV. If it's not 100%, it basically is 50%, and that's Pokemon for you. Going against the stages in Sprout Tower, we don't really take too much of a problem here. I'm already at level 12 going into the end of this fight. So we've got a lot of trainers that we've beaten here. We've beaten all the trainers in Violet City Gym as well. And quickly we're going to use the escape rope to get out of here. Flash might, considering I've used Flash recently, to actually make it useful, especially in the red fight, I'm actually going to keep it in mind as for a good move to be using here. The Birdkeeper Abe, he's got quite a powerful Spearow. His Peck on the Spearow is actually alright, but when you're a low level, it's definitely a lot worse to go against. Let's see how we do it against Falconer. We want the Zephyr badge, he's got it, so we need to beat him down to the ground. His level 7 Pidgey, not a problem whatsoever. It would be more of a problem if they use the likes of Sand Attack, but they have Mud Slap to use and we are resistant to that. Gust on the other hand does big damage, and we get right down to the wire before level 13 Hoothoot can beat Falconer on its own. First attempt win though, because we have done a lot of training up to this point, and we do get the TM for Mud Slap at TM 31, which is going to be very helpful in the next cave because there's a guy with 3 Geodudes, and this is pretty much the best move we can use to go against him. Mud Slap, even though it's very weak at 20 base power, it does have the added bonus of lowering accuracy. In this generation, compared to Gen 1, accuracy lowering moves or evasion increasing moves very, very broken, so I never used them in Gen 1, but in Gen 2, they kind of fixed all these issues, so it's more than fine, in my opinion, for me to be using them here. Looking at our TM moveset as well, we don't honestly get too much to work with. I'm really banking on the level up moveset that we get to make this work, but we don't get the good moves until very late 30s and very late 40s, so we're going to have to make do with what we have for now. We couldn't pick up Dream Eater any earlier as well because that's locked in Kanto. But we can get the TM for return, we can get Steel Wing, although that is locked behind Kanto as well, but we can also get the move for Fly, which, honestly, I don't think I'm actually going to use. But one of the key moves that we get in this very early game is the move Hypnosis. At 60% accuracy, it's not all too great, but giving us a chance to actually put them to sleep and get a few hits in, it makes the difference in a lot of these fights. And it's going to make the difference in a lot of the next two gym fights coming up because, for one, they like to use accumulation moves and we don't have really good answer for that. Apart from using Hypnosis, of course, that's really the only thing we've got to work with to make it work, even at these low levels. At level 18, we're starting to challenge the trainers in Bugsy's gym, and it makes more sense to go against Bugsy first than it does going against the rival in Azalea, because the rival Azalea fight is very, very difficult, especially because you're at a point in the game where you don't have many good moves. So it's, for a flying type, it's definitely better to be going against Bugsy at this point. I'm going to go against all the trainers here because with our low base stat total, we are going to need those levels. It is going to increase the end time, but this is what I've opted to do to try and get the best time possible. There's a lot of trainers in here. There's 4 of them, at least 3. 2 of them could be mandatory anyway because the third, like the guy just above Bugsy, he spins around, so there's a way to get around him if you don't want to fight him. We're going into this fight at level 19, and let's see how we do against Bugsy. Hive Badge is on the cards here, and we really want that, so we're going to go straight in with Peck. It's dealing the most damage out because it's super effective against bugs, and it's pretty much a 2-shot on all of his Pokemon until he brings in that Scythe. And now we want to get this thing to sleep as soon as possible, and of course I did misclick on a Mud Slap straight away. But once we've got it to sleep, this is a very, very easy fight for a Hoothoot. Get up to level 20, and you know what, that's still a lot lower than I thought it was going to be at this point in the game, so I'm quite happy with this point. Once we've beaten Bugsy, of course, that means we need to go heal up and challenge the rival in Azalea Town. Finello, here we go, let's see how you do here, because this is a difficult fight. His first out is Ghastly, and we're going to go straight for Hypnosis, which does not work, but thankfully all he does is use Spite, giving us an option to put him to sleep, use Mud Slap, and take him down pretty comfortably. Next out is the Zubat, and we are going to put it straight to sleep, and then 3 Pecks should take it down. Yeah, 3 Pecks. That brings us into the Croconaw, and the reason why I've chosen this. Croconaw out with a free start Pokemon has got the best attack and the best physical attacking moves. Considering we've got 30 base defense, that, in my opinion, gives us the hardest fight. He doesn't get Ice Fang or anything like this in this generation. That's a much later generation that he gets that. But because of the combination of Hypnosis, Mud Slap, we can make sure that he's got as low accuracy as possible before taking him down with Peck. So we do get a first time win, and this is honestly going quite comfortably. Only reason why we're losing time out is because some of these battles take quite a while, with us having very low attacking stat, and the fact that we don't really get good special type moves till later. Yeah, we do have much longer elongated fights in this early game, which does lose us time. In Whitney's gym, of course, we're pretty much just going straight here for level 22. This could go our way, but the Whitney's Miltank does have Rollout, which is a rock type move, so this could be problematic for us if we can't get him to sleep. We have learned Reflect at level 22 as well, which will mitigate some of that incoming physical damage, but we don't deal that much damage, especially with Peck, and that Clefairy is kind of annoying sometimes. If it hits the right move with Metronome, then yeah, we won't be in the best position. We want to be going into the Miltank with Reflect still up, but annoyingly it does go down before we start. And yeah, it gets 2 hits in with Hypnosis missing. So that's pretty much one of our first losses of the game so far. And we need to work this a lot more clever. Peck at level 26 will be a free shot in the Clefairy. The Miltank, as long as we can outspeed, which we can't, but with Reflect up we manage to tank some damage. And from there, with Peck not doing all too much damage, we just need to get a few Mud Slaps set up, meaning that Miltank has lower accuracy with its rollouts. Rollout in itself doesn't have 100% accuracy, so this just helps for our aims. And once it wakes up, we can put it straight back to sleep. Now that enough mud slaps have been set up, we get it, it wakes back up after a reflect. We get it back to sleep and we just start pecking it into the ground. I probably could have done this at an earlier level, but we were really struggling, especially when rollout got set up. Whitney has a cry, and then we get ourselves the plain badge. It's 3 badges in total, and that brings us on to the 4th one. Now this next gym leader I was worrying about because really, yeah, we got physical type moves, but it's not really in our favour. We can't get Thief until after we've got Surf and the gym badge, so yeah, we really have to rely on Mud Slap, and we have to rely on Peck. Annoyingly as well, all of the Haunters do use Curse, and as you can see with the Rivals fight here, it's not good for us when we really need to be keeping our HP up. Mud Slap can take down the Magnemite in 2 hits, which is kind of problematic. I really want it to be dealing with that in 1 shot, but yeah, at this point in the game, we still don't have enough attack to work with. We finally get ourselves to the final Croconaw, and from here, get it to sleep, peck it into the ground. Best strategy you can do for a Hoothoot at this point. It's kind of weird that we don't get any more flying type moves. Like, we could get, well, we do get Fly, we do get Steel Wing, which is a Steel type move, but that's locked behind Kanto. But annoyingly, we only get 2 flying type moves, and one of them is only from level up, the second from TMs, HMs. Okay, let's see how we do against Morty, because this is going to be a tough fight. I really want that Fog Badge, so we're going to see how we do here. We're going to try and get them to sleep straight away because we do outspeed at this level. And then 2 Mud Slaps will take down the Ghastly, but it was only barely taking them down. It's a good thing that we can outspeed them, but Peck is doing much more damage here. So as soon as we got them to sleep, which I'm surprised we do outspeed that Gengar at level 31, but annoyingly, they get us to sleep first. We finally wake up, and we just go for the Pecks, dealing bigger damage out than we would with Mud Slap. As long as they stay asleep, we can win this fight. It all comes down to whether we get cursed and whether we get put to sleep. I'm really surprised that I didn't see a curse in this fight though, but this was not the first attempt. Yes, I'm showing this on the video as the first attempt as Morty, but this was definitely not the first attempt going against Morty. It took about 4 or 5 tries before I got the look where Hypnosis just worked in our favour and we saw no curses. But that's 4 badges in total, and from here we can progress on to the next town, which of course is going to be Olivine City. But we can't go against the gym leader yet. We need to go across the sea and then head over to Cyanwood. To do this though, you need to set off the medicine quest for the Ampharos. We'll also pick up the rare candy here because a few extra levels is not going to be a problem, and we definitely will need them getting into the later game. Annoyingly, across the sea we do get poison, so we're going to go straight to the Pokemon Center. Yeah, those Tentacruels and the Tentacles are kind of annoying sometimes, but this time it was actually Quillfish that poison does. Yeah, I always forget about Quillfish, even though it was actually a great run on this channel. That brings us to the Dojo Brothers in Cyanwood, and these guys shouldn't be a problem. As long as we can get them to sleep, Peck is super effective. But then I realised Hitmonlee's got very good attack, and 1 jump kick, even though it's resisted, well, it's actually not, no, it's not resisted because we're flying normal, so it's a neutral hit. Yeah, it still did a hell of a lot of damage, and that's not what we want to see, especially with Dynamic Punch coming up on Chuck. But the Dojo Brothers go down first time, and we can see how we do against the next gym leader. Now, you have to go against every single gym trainer in this gym. Not through choice, they are all mandatory, you cannot evade them whatsoever. But as long as you've got Hypnosis, you've got a chance to win, even at lower levels. Most of the Machoks and the Machops are pretty slow, so as soon as you get them to sleep, peck them into the ground. We nearly lose to this guy because of Rock Slide of all things, and that is Black Belt Nob, and he is named as a cameo for Nob, the translator for the Western releases of Pokemon. If you didn't know that already, which is pretty cool. Yeah. I can't remember his second name, I think it's Ogasasawa, something like that. Yeah, I'm terrible with pronunciation of Japanese names, so I try not to say them as much. But Nob he was the translator for the Western releases, which is why there's also some like little Easter eggs thrown in. Like in Gen 1, there was trainers that would say lines from famous songs, like Pat Benatar's "Hit Me With Your Best Shot." Yeah, there's cute, cool little Easter eggs like that he put into the game, which I think is pretty funny. At level 34 we also pick up the move Confusion, and finally getting a Psychic type move we can make use of our better special attack. Yeah, it's only 6 points of difference, but it's going to help and it's super effective against this gym. Let's see how we do against Chuck. Storm Badge is on the cards, and we have got a good moveset to work with for this gym. As soon as they are asleep, we can use Confusion or Peck and deal out pretty good damage. In hindsight, Peck actually does just about as much, and we've got more PP to use on it. So as soon as we get him to sleep, we will go for the Pecks or we will go for the Confusions. And we need to keep getting them to sleep, because I completely forget that Chuck has full heals that he likes to use on his Pokemon here. They wake up pretty comfortably, and then we get put to sleep ourselves against the Poliwrath. We get confused, and 2 Dynamic Punches, even without Mind Reader, hit consecutively, giving us a loss. Didn't think this would be a gym that we would lose to, but hey ho. Dynamic Punch can change the tide of battle if you are not in the right scenario. Let's try this again. So Primeape goes down pretty comfortably and we've lost no HP. We need to get rid of his full heals, and he's going to use them straight away. So we go for 2 Hypnosises, get rid of the full heals, so now he is asleep. And we're just hoping that he stays asleep for the longevity of this fight. After that, we do manage to get a win with full HP, and that's a pretty comfortable win in hindsight. We go and pick up Fly from his wife, who says he is fat. Stop fat shaming, because I'm a little chubby myself. We're all a little chubby, we're all getting on in years. But where should I teach it to Hoothoot? Well, no, not in this scenario, because if I teach it Fly, I am then locking one of my move slots out for a move that I might need later. So I actually opted not to use Fly in this run, just so that I could keep my options open for the moves. Once we have given Amphi the secret potion, we've got the option where we can go against Jasmine now, but with our moveset, it would be a very difficult fight, so I'm opting to go straight over to Ecruteak and head over to the Lake of Rage. We need more levels, and we can get that on the Rocket side quest, as much as I hate it. Once we've got the Red Gyarados to sleep, this is actually kind of a tough fight. Like, Peck is not doing much whatsoever, neither is Confusion. They're both doing around about the same amount of damage, and Thrash did so much to us. You can see me looking there, panicking, going, should I use an item? I actually don't have any, so I couldn't even cheese it if I really wanted to. And it's not in the spirit of a solo run if I did heal within fights. Because what part of my rule set is, no items within fights. And persevering, we actually do beat the Red Gyarados, impressing Lance enough with this one little bird that we then go along. I also go up to the Lake of Rage north just to go and pick up Hidden Power, just to see if we can actually get a move that might help us against Jasmine, because look at our moveset, there is barely anything we can use to deal with steel types. And strangely enough, we actually got a good secret power. You might be thinking it might be Fire type, which would take better advantage of that special attack, but no, it's actually going to be Hidden Power Fighting that we get. And that's actually, I'm okay with that. It's still going to do super effective damage against steel types, but I would have preferred Secret Power Fire, really. Let's see how we do against Price anyway, because while we're here, he's not too bad of a gym leader, and with our moveset currently, we should have enough to work with, really. We don't have anything super effective, but we do still have Mud Slap, which is super effective against Ice. We're going to make sure we get as much experience as possible going against all the trainers in his gym, and thankfully with the Cloyster here, it's got bad special defenses, so Confusion is pretty much the best move to be using here. Once they've got him to sleep, it's rinse and repeat. It's a good strategy to be using, and I don't feel as cheesy about using Hypnosis with only on 60% accuracy. We're after the Glacier badge now though, and we'll see how we do against Price. First off, we get the Seal to sleep, and we realise we're not dealing much damage out. This Pokemon is 10 levels below us, and we're barely doing about a sixth of the damage. When we get the Dugong to sleep, hey Dewey, you're back. Once we've got it to sleep and he uses Rest, that's kind of annoying, so we need to use Mud Slap to make sure his accuracy is as low as possible. And from there, oh, this is not looking good. We're on 18 HP, and we're against Ice types, which we are weak to. He brings out his Pile of Swine, and we manage to get it to sleep. We're just going to go for the kill now. If we can get it to sleep while... ah, there we go, there's the Blizzard. Yeah, you know what, strange enough, I was actually expecting a loss to Price with him having powerful ice type moves like Aurora Beam and Blizzard, and this honestly took me a while. We managed to get up to level 40 before this became possible. Not possible in the sense of, like, I just didn't get the greatest luck, but I had enough to actually work with, enough bulk to work with from those levels that it actually made the difference. When the Pilot Swine came out, we went for Mud Slaps to make sure Blizzard at 85 accuracy, I think it is, that had less chance to hit us, and that gave us the edge here. When he wakes up, we put him straight back to sleep and peck him into the ground for the win. But that was a hard fought fight, and yeah, the worst challenge is coming now with Jasmine. We want that mineral badge, and we're bringing secret power, hidden power into the fray. Well, not on this attempt anyway. I want to see how well we did with just Mud Slap, and the answer is not too great. We can deal with the Magnemites pretty comfortably because Mud Slap will take them out in 2 hits. But that Steelix is on another level to the Magnemite. We go for the Hypnosis because that's the best way to subdue it in the meantime, and we go for the Mud Slaps trying to reduce its accuracy down. Because Iron Tail is very powerful. Very, very powerful. It doesn't have the greatest accuracy to begin with, but even with 6 Mud Slaps set up, we're struggling here, and Iron Tail hits. This is why I don't feel as bad about using accuracy lowering moves in this generation, because, to be fair, the accuracy drops are not as bad. This time we use Hidden Power, and you can just see it's one-shotting those Magnemites, so we are in a great position here. It does better damage on the Steelix than it did against the with Mud Slap, but as soon as it wakes up we get it back to sleep and hope to God that it misses another Iron Tail. She's probably going to burn her Hyper Potion very, very soon, but as soon as we get it back to sleep, that's the Hyper Potion burned, and we can go for the kill with Mud Slap and Hidden Power. Hidden Power fight in this fight, very useful, but I much more would have preferred a Hidden Power Fire, just for the fact that it would deal out more damage. It wakes back up, and Hypnosis of course does not hit every single time. 2 more Hidden Powers get us the win, and that was a very long drawn out fight. But Hoothoot did it, and before level 45, which pretty fine. Not the greatest, but it's alright. Having 7 badges in tow now means we can kick off the Rocket side quest again, and that brings us to Finieraro in the Underground. Golbat is out first, and we don't have Confusion do super effective damage, but our friendship is high enough now after a few haircuts where we can learn the move Return, which is much more powerful to use. Annoyingly, we do get cursed by this Haunter, and of course it's going to take 2 Mud Slaps to take it down. Yes, we are still using Mud Slap this far into the run, but pretty much Hidden Power fighting. Oh, it didn't do big damage there. Was it Hidden Power fighting or was it Hidden Power ground? Because either way, that should have done super effective. I'm confused now. I don't know which one that would have been. Either way. We take him down, even being cursed to level 47, and progress to the top of the Radio Tower for the battle with Archer, and we can see how we do against his 3 Pokemon. Houndour, not going to be a problem too much with Return. Return is just such a good move when your friendship is high. But Sludge manages to poison us, which is problematic, but I'm hoping that Houndoom doesn't outspeed and does enough chip damage to put us in at low HP. Thankfully, he goes for Feint Attack instead of Flamethrower. Pretty much just because he sees that our defense is low, so he's going to go for that. But Dark type is special in this generation. Flamethrower would have done much more damage, so confused on that one. Completing that side quest though, that brings us over to Blackthorn City and the final gym of this run. Or at least in Johto, you know you've got the Kanto gyms of course. But we are outspeeding these Dragonheads, and we have now picked up Dream Eater at level 48. Meaning we've now got a HP recovery move, which is going to be perfect. Let's see how we do against Claire for the Rising Badge. So, we can outspeed these Dragonairs, but not when we've been paralysed. And this puts us in a very bad position. We have got rid of Hidden Power because I don't like using it for the longevity. And to be fair, Dream is just much more powerful. So, as soon as we can get him to sleep, we're actually not taking all too much damage from the Thunderbolts. And it's not problematic because we can get our HP back with Dream Eater. But we're on 72 HP going into the 3rd Dragonair, and this one has Ice Beam. We need to recover as much HP as possible because that Kingdra likes to spam Hyper Beam, especially when you've got low base defense. Can we tank a Hyper Beam? 5 HP, and then a Surf takes us out. Thank you, Paralysis, for making me slower. Let's try that again. We're not too far off here. This time, Thunder Wave misses, which is perfect. Meaning, we can use Return and deal out big damage on the 1st Dragonair. Hypnosis hits again on the first time round again, and this makes it so much easier. The second Dragon Head does wake up though and does paralyze us. Not a great scenario to start off with. But we've got more HP to work with going into this Dragon Head. As long as we can get to sleep, we'll be going into this Dragon Head with more HP to work with. 2 Dream Eaters will take it down, and we're at 116 going into Kingdra. Kingdra does of course go for the Hyper Beam first, but this time we get the Hypnosis hit first, meaning we can use Dream Eater and get our HP back, or at least some of it back. And this Kingdra manages to stay for sleep for 6 turns. She goes for a Hyper Potion, keeping it asleep, and I'm pretty sure when that happens, it resets the sleep counter, because they always seem to stay asleep much longer than the 5 or 6 turns than they should be. We get the win finally after about 4 or 5 attempts and progress on to the Pokemon League. We have our final fight against Finero, and here we go. We have still got Mudslap going into this late game because, for one, it's just useful for the Magneton. With having that electric steel type, it's 4 times effective, so it's worth keeping. We take him down pretty comfortably because at this level 54, this Hoothoot is on crack. Like, with Hypnosis, Dream Eater, Return and Mudslap, it's a great combination for this league. And we progress on to the first Elite Four member, which of course is going to be Will, the Psychic type trainer. Will's going to start off with Xatu and it's Bird v Bird, and we're going to show that we have the better bird here. We get it to sleep with Hypnosis and return it into the ground. Second up is Jinx, and it has bad defenses, so 1 return is a 1-shot at this range. Slowbro's out next, and it's a lot bulkier than the previous, so we need to get it to sleep and then chip away it, hopefully taking it down in 3 returns, and it stays asleep, thankfully. This is going pretty well so far. Hypnosis doesn't hit this time round, and we take a big Psychic attack, and from here, once it's asleep, 2 returns will take down the Xatu. That just leaves the Executor, and the reason why he's left it in the back is because we are a flying type, meaning they probably think that we've got a flying type move. He seeds us, but it's too little too late. 2 returns will take it down, and with 30 HP we beat the Elite Four, Will. Pretty comfortable first win, and that was a first time win, but Koga is always a different kettle of fish. Koga, he does have some bug types, but that's not what we're worried about. It's the Fortress, if I'm being honest. If that hits us with Explosion, even at this range, I think it probably would take us out. Thankfully it stays to sleep, and we Dream Eater all the poison Pokemon into the ground. Easiest way to take them out and keep your HP high, but the Crobat is annoying. Gets us down at 8 HP, and a full restore from Koga means that we miss our Dream Eater, otherwise we would have won that. The Ariados, of course, is bug poison, so it's a Dream Eater to take it down. We're level 58 here going into this fight, and Dream Eater is probably our best move, easily our best move. When you're going against the likes of Fortress, you want to make sure you use special attacks. If you had a fire attack and we had hidden power fire, that would have been perfect, but yeah, it just didn't work out that way. We get a critical hit on the Muck, bringing us into the Crobat, the one that ended our run beforehand, and we're just going to go for physical attacking since its defenses are quite weak. We're going to take 2 returns, take it down, and thankfully Toxic Mist, bringing us into the final Venomoth, which we get to sleep after 2 Hypnosis, and the Dream Eater gets us the win at full HP. That brings us into Elite Four member 3, which is Bruno. Now we are probably the perfect Pokemon to be taking on Bruno. We've got Psychic moves, we're a flying type. He's probably looking at us and going, I have no chance here against this little owl. His Hitmontop can't even use Dig because it's resisted for us. It's completely new. Well, it just doesn't hit us whatsoever because of that flying type. We can keep our HP up with Dream Eater and Mudslap as and when we need to just chip away. Hitmonchan's out next, and it will use Mach Punch. It won't do all too much, but it is a neutral move with us having that normal subtype. It's still weird that it took until Gen 5 before they actually put a full mono flying type Pokemon into the game. It is really weird, especially like Rookidee in Gen 8 is a great Pokemon. It's a mono flying type, but it also, when it gets up to Corviknight, does add that steel type in, which is just insane anyway. The Hitmonlee actually manages to miss us and goes crashing into the ground, where a Dream Eater will get us the win after a return. Bruno is beaten first time, and it's only Koga that we've really struggled against so far. Well, Karen, again, a dodgy trainer at times. Let's see how we do here. Now we do outspeed the Umbreon, which is really key because we want to make sure we take that down before sand attacks go our way. Then Gengar comes out and it goes straight for Curse and outspeeds us. This is not a good scenario to be in. Thankfully Dream Eater is super effective, but Curse damage is really going to hurt us. If we can take Pokemon out in one hit like we do with the Murkrow, we won't see that Curse damage accumulate. Houndoom can be put to sleep, but it can't be hit by Dream Eater because it's a Dark type. We take it down with 2 hits though, and then brings us into Vileplume, which is a poison type, so Dream Eater will do massive damage. It wakes up straight away though and puts us to sleep and then uses Moonlight, but it's too little too late. We get the win with full HP against Karen. And I'll be honest, that wasn't the first attempt, that was the 3rd attempt. But let's see how we do against the champion. Now, biggest reason why I'm scared for this fight pretty much is the fact that he can set up Rain Dance and he can use Thunder. Now if Rain Dance is set up, then Thunder will always hit, but even the fact he's got likes of Blizzard, Thunder Wave and Thunder, all super effective moves against us, and it is kind of scary. Dream Eater is not even a half shot, and I misclick on return there, but we still managed to take down Dragonite in one hit, bringing us into the second. We do outspeed this Dragonite, and we're just going to go for the returns. It's doing much more damage than Dream Eater does, and a critical gets us a 2-shot. Now comes Aerodactyl, who has Rock Slide, and we get flinched. cheesy guy. But I'm determined to show that we are the better flying type trainer, because Lance, yeah, he's got a couple of dragons, but all of his team are flying types, so he's a flying type master. Once we've got Dragonite to sleep, we have gone up to level 65 here and used all of our rare candies. Now we're 2-shotting Dragonites. This is a good scenario to be in. We also outspeed them as well, meaning that we can get them to sleep straight away and then 2-shot them into the ground, but then comes the Aerodactyl again. Aerodactyl misses Mud Slap, and from here we can use Dream Eater to take advantage of its lower special defense, meaning from here we only have one more Pokemon that is really a big threat, and that's going to be the Charizard. I'm not considering that last Dragonite a threat, but Charizard, if we Flamethrower, is super powerful. We managed to take it down with 2 returns after getting it to sleep, and that brings into the final Pokemon, Dragonite, where it goes to sleep first turn and then he goes for a full restore. This gives us another option to use Hypnosis, but then he sets up Safeguard, which is just cheesy. I love Safeguard as a move on a Solo Run, just for the amount of status moves to get thrown at you. We take him down, we get the Elite 4 badge, and we are the Pokemon League champion. But how quickly did we do this? We're level 65, which honestly is lower than I thought it would be, and we did this at 6 hours 51 minutes. Isn't the greatest, but that low level is definitely something to shout about, because this is a bad base stat total Pokemon. Let's progress into Kanto and see how we do against Blue. So Blue, not really that big of a problem. After going through Kanto, we're up at level 72 here going into this fight, and we've kept the exact same moveset. We've not changed it whatsoever. We've got Return, which will do big damage on the Alakazam, but Hyper Beam managed to get us down to 5 HP, and then he likes his full restores, so yeah, Twister does manage to take us down. So we need to get to that Gyarados, who has a very powerful Hyper Beam, in as much HP as possible, and making sure to get rid of those full restores whenever we can. Psychic, it pretty much this attempt goes all the way the same until we get to that Gyarados. We're just going to spam Hypnosis to get rid of all of his full restores, and as soon as we do, we can start using Dream Eater to get back our HP. Bringing us into Arcanine, who we get to sleep first thing, and we're just going to continue getting back our HP. Executor comes out, and then we take him down and bring ourselves onto the red fight. Let's see how we do against this guy here, because he's going to be difficult, and he always is difficult. But we've got a little Hoothoot. Can we do this? Red starts off with his famous Pikachu, and again, we're not actually going to go for any stat boosting moves like Curse, because we're not going to need them all too much, I don't think. With Hypnosis, it gives us enough to work with, and we do outspeed quite a few of his Pokemon. We managed to take down the Blastoise that does have Blizzard, which could be super effective, but we can outspeed and we can get Mud Slaps in against the Espeon. We do need to take it down as quick as possible though, because with that Snorlax coming in with Body Slam, Yeah, we actually might need Curse here. So this time we're going to switch around our moveset. We're going to go up to level 93 as well. And we're going to go for the Curse strats as well. We don't want to use all too many because it lowers our speed and we need to outspeed, especially with the likes of Charizard in the back and the fact that we're going to have that Snorlax there as well. We can outspeed it, and from there we're just going to see how much damage we do in return. And you know what? Not too bad amount of damage. We managed to take it down in 2 hits, bringing us into the Charizard. And from here, Flamethrower does big damage. We managed to get it to sleep. We're on half HP here, and I'm just going for it. Like, critical hit takes down that Charizard, and that brings it to Venusaur. But we managed to get it to sleep, bringing us into a comfortable win against Red at level 93. For a base form Pokemon with a base stat total of 262, I'm quite happy with that level. So this is how we finished it. We finished it with, well, we didn't want to look at Pidgey, Return, Curse, Hypnosis, and Rest. Those stats aren't anything to shout about, but we finished at 8 hours 29 minutes. Not too bad of a run. I enjoyed this one. Anyway, let's see what we're going to do next week. Let's spin that wheel, and the first one up on this wheel is going to be, after we finally spin, Knocked Out. We've just done the Hoothoot run. I'm not doing the Knocked Out run straight after. We need some variation. Next up is going to be Lantern. Wouldn't be a bad choice. It's been a while since the Chinchou run. And finally is Kingdra. Oh, you know what? Yeah, I think it's time for the Kingdra run. We have put it off for quite a while, but yeah, we'll go with Kingdra. If you got to this point in the video, guys, please smash that like and subscribe. I really appreciate it. And I'm trying to get this channel up to 500 subs. We'll see you next week. Take care.